Today we got a minor Warzone update and not a ton change in there. They reworked ranked a little bit, some other balancing stuff, but the biggest change was the MTZ-556 got a buff. They reduced the recoil, the initial recoil, still has a little bit, but not significant, and then decreased the recoil overall, and then increasing the damage all the way around, as well as increasing the range. So it's just gonna be much more viable. And even though it doesn't look like this is a huge change in terms of TTK, this actually kicks it into the meta conversation for the long range TTK. Up close, it didn't do enough of a change to really make it solidify it as the best sniper support or anything like that. It still kills relatively average or even slow up close, but at range, it's definitely competitive. And I have updated on the spreadsheet, and I'll kind of explain how it works. Before we get too deep into it, we do have a sponsor section, which we'll do right now. Today's video is brought to you by Wicked Cushions, and this is something I've been using for almost a year now, and it definitely helps to increase the comfort. One thing that's nice about their website is you can go there and get all these various different styles for a long list of headsets, and you can see all the various ones there. You kind of go ahead and click on it, and it'll walk through a tutorial on how to go ahead and install those for your particular headset. And they even come with a couple warranty benefits. As you can see here, full 365 days of warranty from day of purchase, as well as unlimited replacements for damaged items. So you want to go ahead and check them out for yourself. Link is near the top of the description. Thank you to Wicked Cushions for sponsoring today's video. Welcome back. So we can see right here, it sits on the bottom left over here at the 30th spot. Obviously, there's some guns that aren't even viable at long range, but this shoots it out. It just spits out the fastest TTKs in order. And you can see it's right next to the 7.62. And the 7.62, one of the advantages with the 7.62, which makes it so good, is it gets one headshot, it drops down to 7.76, which shoots it way up here in the top 10. Even for theoretical TTK, that's pretty crazy. In terms of the MTZ-556, pretty much at its last damage, it'll always do 13 shots to kill for 888 TTK. And its really only drawback, in my opinion, is its bullet velocity isn't amazing, but it's good enough to get the job done. Like I said, especially on the smaller maps. With that being said, I've decided to do two different builds. We'll go ahead and kind of look at the comparison here. Obviously, it's either going to be with a suppressor, without a suppressor. We'll look at the velocity difference, and then with an optic and without an optic, because sometimes that is a huge difference in being accurate depending on how you're going to challenge this gun. So the first one we'll go ahead and take a look at here is the suppressed iron sight build. You can kind of see how it's built out. I like the Bruin Archangel. The close quarters one is good. All these three together are pretty good. This one helps with a little bit of firing, aiming stability, which is nice, but pretty much all of them are going to look the same once you kind of start using them. So it's going to come down to feel. In terms of recoil, we can go ahead and kind of take a look at how it moves. It doesn't have a ton of recoil. It kind of goes a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and then up. But for the most part, you should be fairly accurate at those ranges, even with iron sights. I'm not the biggest fan of iron sights because I just don't like them. When they shake, it's kind of hard to see your target. So a lot of times I will go ahead and drop that and then go with an optic. And the optic I prefer for the bullet velocity that it's, going to be strong at is going to be the NIDAR, in my opinion. So we'll go ahead and equip the NIDAR. And if we look at the bullet velocity, we're getting around 800, which, like I said, is a little bit slow. I normally like to aim for 900 plus if we're looking for long range meta bullet velocity. So this one's definitely in the conversation, but if it gets a little bit slower, then it kind of makes it that much harder to hit shots at the 80-ish meter range. So with this one, you can go ahead and kind of see how this one looks. Still pretty good. The fire rate is super good, so it's going to be very forgiving in terms of being able to follow up the shots, but you will bleed through bullets pretty quickly. Like, you're just going to go through the mag because remember, it takes 13 bullets at the furthest range. And before that range, it's just one bullet difference to 12 bullets to kill. So either way, it's going to, I mean, it would be cool if it had a 60 round mag, but there it is. Then we have one with the muzzle, and you can go ahead and go with the tried and true standard. But this one, just to get rid of that horizontal recoil, I like to do that. Just get rid of it. The purifier is going to be a good way to go. These ones will give you about 750 bullet velocity, 700 if you go with the Zem compensator. Cool. And then if you go with the purifier, you can go ahead and see this one's going to be around 700. So a little bit slower, but it gets rid of all that visual recoil. It's going to be much easier to shoot. But like I said, it's going to be more of a mid-range gun, and you'll just have to choose your gunfights accordingly because you're losing that velocity. If you want a little bit more, you can go with either one of those muzzle brakes. And you'll see that this one, again, if we look at the wall, we go ahead and look at the recoil. You can see it doesn't have quite as big of a sharp turn. It does have a little bit more vertical, but you can see that the grip grouping is much tighter. It'll allow you to hit targets that much easier, especially if the people are at that 50 to 80 meters before that bullet velocity decides to drop off. I'm so glad they're actually buffing these guns that definitely need buffing instead of just nerfing everything. Now that we've gotten to the point where things are pretty balanced. Let me know what else you'd like to see buffed in the near future. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day.